Well, I'm Jonathan Worsley, and I'm chairman of the bench and organizer of the Future Hospitality Summit just around the corner. And I'm delighted to have Serena Lim, who's the Chief Growth Officer with the Ascott Limited. Serena, delighted to have you with us.
Jonathan, very happy to be here as well. Great
nice
meeting
you too. And it's really interesting having you on this podcast because you're a brand first-time sponsor of FHS, but also an intriguing brand because you're doing things differently. Tell us a little bit about your business model.
So sure. So a bit more of the Ascott Limited. So we are a global accommodation provider. We're headquartered in Singapore. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. And we first started as an owner and operator of service apartments. Now, through the launch of new brands and making strategic investments in both regional and global hospitality platforms, we now have 940 plus properties, 164,000 units spread over 14 brands and across a diversified portfolio of asset classes, including service apartments, hotels, resorts, social living, and active senior living. And so while we started 40 years ago as a owner-operator, currently, 85% of our properties are with third-party owners. And so our portfolio and our brands and our asset classes that we operate are very well diversified. And, as I mentioned, right, it's 4 different asset classes. And I think that's where it becomes really interesting for us because, we have a larger breadth in terms of our coverage. And with the acquisition also of regional brands, we've also gone into very deep into countries. For example, in Australia, where we bought the Quest brand, we also bought a regional brand in Indonesia. So we can go wide and we can go deep. So some of the brands that you may be familiar with, and the brands which are already in Saudi Arabia, include brands like Ascott, Somerset, and the Citadine.
Now, tell us, where are you spending most of your time at the moment? Which markets are you focused on?
So my role is global, and so I've been spending a lot of time in many different markets.
It's hard time.
But I think that yes. But I think that for us, we want to grow in a much bigger way in the Middle East, and so that's where I'll be going there a bit more often this year, because there's so much opportunity that we want to be able to get involved in, and also with the expansion plans for the region. We need to be more active in there. We have now beautiful properties in key gateway cities in Saudi Arabia, and we just need to do a bit more and also to introduce our new brands and new concepts.
So what are you typically looking for then when you're traveling in these markets?
Well, I think that, for us, again, we are a slightly different sort of company in the sense is that, we as a company and historically, right, the way hospitality is seen in the industry is that it's really much product-led. And so for us, where we are a slightly different, we look at things slightly differently, right? So historically, the industry is very much product-led, where hotels are for people looking for one-night stays and service apartments are those are for those who are looking for projects or relocation business. So the lines between the asset classes are now getting a bit blurry. And so, we are seeing more guests, stay with us on a transient basis. And, they see service apartments as becoming a mainstream alternative to hotels. So at Ascott, we are getting into the business that hotels traditionally play in, while the hotel space, they're getting into the extended stay market. And so when we focus on growth, we focus on growth that's not product-led, that's more experience-led. And we also do not grow for the sake of growing. We grow to address the accommodation gaps that exist. And sometimes the gaps are very, very different from market to market. So when I look at, in my travels and when I look for opportunities, we reflect a strategy that's very clear and that the intention of providing accommodation needs to be experience-led and location-led. And the reality is that it's not always one size fits all. So for me, when I look at different markets, I look at the consumer, I look at the location, I look at the owner, and we start to think as to leveraging on Ascott's cluster structures. how do we then adapt our brands? How do we then adapt our approach so that we play in a space, that gives us the competitive advantage? And we also have asset classes that we operate that gives us the breadth of brands and choices so that we optimize the performance of our properties. So that's what I do when I go from market
So probably
to market.
in the more traditional markets, you're looking for conversions, but in the developing markets, it's more new build?
We actually look for both. So, it really depends on what is available in the market. I think that, if for any brand, we want to be able to enter the market as soon as possible. So conversions are something that we look out for, quite often. But, to your point, there are also emerging markets where we would build, greenfield projects. And sometimes, even for brownfield projects, we look at adaptive reuses of certain asset classes and make it into, accommodation assets as well. So we play in conversions, we play in brownfield, and we also play in greenfield. I think something that,
in terms of your growth product segment, then it's the whole service departments is probably the growth area for Ascott.
So we are a global leader in service apartments, but we also see a huge demand as well across all our various asset classes as well. And in Ascott, and I think something which many may not know is that for us it's very important to future-proof our owners' assets, and it's also very important that we ensure that we have a very tight control of our costs as well, because in today's markets, right, we see markets ramping up rates, but what are we doing on a cost perspective as well? So at Ascott, we have a flex hybrid concept. And this flex hybrid concept is one whereby our hotel in residence model enables us to cater from short to extended stays for different guest profiles. And we elevate this with the offering of hotel services and amenities. So this model allows us to pivot as demand shifts from different market segments and geographies. So we don't look at just service apartments, we look at the other asset classes. But even within the service apartment concept, we are able to hybrid, and we're able to, look at, building a base business of long stay guests, but at the same time also be able to yield on rates as well. So I think this gives us an added advantage, because we have the flexibility to do short, extended, and long stay.
Serena, what's your average length of stay for the service departments?
So it depends. So, 43% of our business is less than 7 days, and the rest are more than 7 days. So it really depends on the market. And what we're also finding it very interesting is that when a consumer makes a decision as to where they want to stay, they don't make a decision based on whether it's a one-night stay or a 7-night stay. It's really based on their experiences and what they want to get out of the stay and the stay objective.
So explain about the service, the experiences then, because you've mentioned that a few times. So what is it that you're providing in terms of experiences that perhaps is different to the other brands?
So, for example, we have a brand called Life, and Life is our, experience-led social living brand. And so if you want to experience a community, if you're a solo traveler and you want to experience, the community of people coming together, of social living, of sharing shared spaces, then Life is a brand that you would want to consider. If you're coming into the city and you want to learn more about the city, you want to explore the city, you want to live and work and play in the city, then our Citadines brand is a brand, that you want to consider. So all the brands have a very distinct positioning, a very distinct brand voice, and it therefore appeals to guests and consumers who want to have that particular, sort of experience. So that goes. So in over the last couple of years, we have done a brand 360 where we really focus on sharpening our brand story, sharpening our experiences. And as we start to build our brand pipeline and open more properties, all the more it is important, that we are able to really create these distinct experiences. And that's what we've been, able to do over the last, couple of years through the, to the Brand 360 exercise that we're doing. So, over the last 2 years, we have unveiled, refreshed Oakwood, Citadines, Somerset, Ascott, and the Crest Collection brands. And this year, we will be also going through a brand refresh for the Unlimited collection. And we also work very closely with our, in-cluster teams, because at the end of the day, the ability to create, that guest journey lies with our in-market support teams. And we do a lot of work with them as well for us to ensure that we articulate guest
So tell
journey.
us, in the Middle East specifically, what brands are you focused on? And in Saudi as well, which ones are you starting with to get into those markets?
Here. So, in Saudi, we have, projects, and we actually run properties already in Riyadh, in Al Khobar, and also in Aba. So we focus and we cater to both the business and the leisure travelers. Our brands that are already in Saudi Arabia are your Ascott, the Citadines, and the Somerset brands. And we are very, very excited to be able to introduce, more brands to Saudi, and also, to the rest of the region. Now, we want to introduce new brands, for example, our luxury hotel brand, the Crest Collection, our upper upscale hotel brand, Oakwood, and, our exciting, social living brand, Life, to cater to the demographics of the region. So, as I said, right, with our extended portfolio and our breadth of the asset classes that we manage, we do feel that, depending on what the accommodation gap is, we are able to plug in with the sort of right experience-led brand to be able to optimize performance for our owners. So that's just, the start in terms of what we're looking at. But we're also, well poised to enter into even emerging locations as well because of, the sort of brand profiles that we have.
And the financial modeling here is typically asset light, but you will invest if it's a key asset.
I think that, we would be focusing on the management contracts and franchises. Now, one of the most important things is that we also look very hard and work very hard to ensure that we, future-proof the assets for our owner, and also to understand what is the owner's motivation in building the property. So with an asset-light model, with, management and franchise agreements, we are still able to align the objectives between an owner and the operator. So our intention is that we will continue through management and franchise contracts. And with these contracts, we're quite confident that we will be able to, maximize the performance and also to align interests so that we are able to continue to build that long-term relationship.
Great. And I was going through your CV and I just wanted to ask you about unlimited opportunities as well. To explain what that's all about.
So I think that, with Ascott, and we have a slightly different backbone compared to, I guess our competitors and those who are already in the hotel space and the hospitality space. And we say unlimited opportunities because, from the sort of brands that we have and the asset classes that we operate, be it, be it the service apartments, the hotels, the resorts, we are also into social living, and we're also into active senior living. So it is unlimited opportunities for us. It is unlimited opportunities for our owners and our guests to partner with us because of the choices that we offer. The choices both in terms of global opportunities and the choices also with respect to having regional brands that can go deep into the market. As an example, we have about 160 plus properties in Australia and around the same number in Indonesia. So breadth and depth we have, and with the breadth of, the sort of asset classes that we have and the experiences that we offer, it is unlimited opportunities to partner with us and unlimited opportunities for guests to stay with us, and also unlimited opportunities for our associates to work alongside with us.
Now tell us, we've got the Future Hospitality Summit around the corner. How is it we can help you with that event, and who are you looking to meet? How are you looking to position yourself at the conference?
Yeah, so this is the first time that we are sponsoring the event and very, very excited. we feel that, FHS will provide an excellent opportunity to network with owners, industry peers, potential partners, and government entities. Ascott, we look forward to our participation and to leverage the event as a strategic platform to showcase our brands, to drive business growth, to forge partnerships, to gain market insights, and most importantly, to contribute to development of the hospitality industry in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the whole of the Middle East region. So very excited to be able
We're
to be part of
delighted
it.
to have you with us. And you're also on a session on branded residence, co-living, and service departments on Tuesday. So look forward to that very much so.
Indeed. Looking very
Well,
Same
Serena,
here.
thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. Really interesting to learn a little bit more about the Ascott Group and what you're doing and how you're different, because I know you've also had a lot of experience with all the major brands in the past on the development side. So it must be interesting having, being part of the Ascott Group in Singapore at the moment.
Definitely. I think it all starts out with, unlimited opportunities.
Yeah.
So very excited.
Across the whole hospitality real estate sector, which you're doing. Very admirable.
Exactly.
All right. Well, listen, Serena, thank you so much and look forward to seeing you very soon around the corner. Thank you
so much.